there's crossing guards there. We talked about safety. I got the sheriff on board. I got DMV on board. So we made the motion, and the school speed zones were still, still take a little bit of paperwork. But the thing is that the enforcement hours are already in effect today. So we don't have any privacy issues with cameras snapping tickets in the middle of the day anymore. If the lights aren't on, the cameras aren't on. I'd like to introduce you to my aide. I don't like to call my aide. I mean, this guy is my right hand. I said it at the dais the other day. This guy's Jeff. When you talk to him, he gets a hold of me right away. Doesn't even matter if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And he has been fantastic. He will respond very quickly. We're going to give you his phone number because some people have already written in the breaks in time that we weren't responsive. That was a one-time. We do now have the website corrected with the right phone number on there. We do now have voicemail set up, so you will be getting a response very quickly. I'm going to let Ed introduce himself and give you his phone number. Don't give him mine. Go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner. My name is Ed Bailey, I'm the Commissioner Aide to Commissioner McCann. It's been a pleasure working for him. I started working originally in December, and I got officially hired in January. And we've just been really excited to get the ball rolling for District 5. If you haven't yet, I have my cards over there along with the calendar if you like one. Again, just a pleasure. Thank you all for coming out, and we hope this is a great night. Thank you.
We're pretty informal here. We even let Chiefs fans in. What I want everybody to understand, though, is, I want to hear your concern. I want to hear you talk. I don't want to hear me talk. I'll do the talking at the dais for all of you, and I'll make sure they hear you. Anybody here from Heritage Harbor, I do want to talk to them too, because there is a land use ordinance on there tomorrow to build, more hotel rooms and another higher floor on it going up to the 5th floor. And, I want to know what you want. Personally, I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to vote. I think you already know. When I went to orientation, I said, oh, you don't have to teach me, just show me. No one. Okay, because again, there's a lot of things coming on here. You should know what's in your neighborhood. You should have a say what's in your neighborhood. We should not be rezoning land just to rezone land. We should be rezoning land with a purpose. If you're not going to tell us what you're going to build there, and you've got a long laundry list of what you can build there, that's not good enough for me. I want to know exactly what you're going to put there so I can talk to the people in that neighborhood so you can have the quiet enjoyment of your home. I've been here 18 years now. Just a little bit of background. Yes, I am a doctor. Yes, I am a lawyer. Yes, I have an MBA. Just a little bit, but enough to understand that when people are hurting, they need to be heard. Okay? And that's the most important thing. My votes are not going to be my votes. My votes are going to be your votes. You're going to tell me what you need. Okay? We're still going through the paperwork now, but for all practical purposes, the wetlands are back. Okay? They're done. That's the building board, and that's what's going to happen. We're putting them back. There are some things out there that we might not be able to stop, but I like the challenge. So, a lot of things were enacted by the last board doesn't mean we can't undo something. So, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take care of the people here because this is a very nice neighborhood. It did have a master plan when I first came here. When I first came here, it was still County Line Road. Now it's, a road of living. And, my standard joke I went to Lakewood Ranch Republican Club and I said, I came to this meeting today. I'm a little bit late because I got here in a roundabout way. Right now they're talking about building more roundabouts. I put that up on the dais. It was in my overhead in the last meeting. If that's something you don't want, let me know. Because that's something that we can talk to Rex Jensen about, say, they don't want this, don't build it. Okay? I hope he's responsive, I think he will be. You know, again, we had a good discussion. He came in with 4 people in a PowerPoint presentation. And, you know, he brought his lawyer with him. Obviously, I insulted him, but that's me. So what I really want now, the other thing is, if you have something immediate that needs to be taken, I want you to see Ed. He'll take down your name, what it is, and we'll get it taken care of. Because, you know, I just talked to the county administrator, say, I want to know. We were very fast in picking up the debris. There's still some debris out there. Ours went very quick, you know, because we were on trucks when we were doing it. A lot of people said they had problems with the debris being in rangeland. I couldn't change that because that was FEMA's plan on where to put it. But what we did do with it that I think was very successful is we're chipping it, putting it in a wood chipper, and we're taking it out of the county. We don't want it here anymore. We don't need it. If there's something we missed, a tree down somewhere or something like that, let me know. We'll take care of it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, are there any questions for me? And I'm going to give this to Ed. You can talk in the microphone. I'll just yell.
Hey, Commissioner McCann. First, I just want to start with a couple of thank yous, actually. I wanted to thank you for representing the people, which was the platform you ran on. So thank you so much. Exhibit 1, here we are. And so you're listening to our concerns. So thank you for that. I also want to thank you for your courage and the action you took out of the gate when you first went into office. I think that moratorium is a great idea, and we should stop that. I don't think that, I think what you're pushing for is responsible development, you know, that's compatible. You talked about the master plan, and that is equal to all, and I think that's fantastic. I think your priorities are right. People were damaged, and we've got to take care of that. I mean, we can't have Hurricane Sonia. That's got to be the priority, as you say. So I just think that having the proper infrastructure for development should be good, which is my segue to a specific concern that I think there's a number of us here that have, which is irresponsible development, where we have a specific situation called Ring Flats, which is, I think it's a result of landowner greed and developer greed. I think that you're switching the pendulum to take care of the people, but this is a proposal that is going to put a 3 to 4 story, 360 apartment deal next to single family housing, and it's zoned RS1 for single family housing. That is a terrible idea, which will totally hurt people's quality of life by towering over single family homes where it shouldn't. It is zoned for single family homes and low density, and it's also just going to intrude on their quality with noise and things like that. Not to mention the pressure it's going to put on the infrastructure as far as traffic and those kind of things. So I just wanted to, I guess I have 3 thank yous for you. So, you know, thank you for listening to that, but that's the specific concern that we're here for. And I just wanted to bring that up.
I got this. Might take a little while to get through, but I'm trying to make it short as possible.
Okay, well, I'll be like the last one. You got 3 minutes, go.
That's starting when? Now?
2 minutes, go.
So, congratulations on your election. And we look forward to 4 years? 4 years. So 4 years. I guess the first thing I want to mention is, and I know people in here are probably having the same issue. It's a federal issue. Now, I know you're at the local level, but when a federal issue affects your home, I think the local people should get involved and maybe do something about it. I'm talking about airplane noise. Okay. And you know what I'm talking about. It's the last year or so, or 2 years, we've got all these planes now flying over Lakewood Ranch. And I'm kind of startled by it because I've been here 24 years. And I've seen planes, but not to the excess that I see them now. So could you possibly reach out to the FAA or to the congressman, because a call from you carries a little more weight than fault for me.
I'd be happy to do that. And, you know, in a previous life, I was FAA, so I do know some people that are in Washington. Yeah, I will definitely reach out. You know, we see the planes coming over our lanai all the time. And it's, you know, they are coming down low, and they are making noise.
Yeah. And, okay, so that's that issue.
Okay.
Now, the other issue I have is with the resurfacing of Lakewood Ranch Boulevard. Now, I understand that's all right. It's going to be done 2026, correct?
They're gonna start this year. They're actually gonna scrape off everything that's on there. They're not just gonna pave over top with cold top. They are
Yeah.
actually gonna lay a new road on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard.
Okay.
With no potholes.
Okay, great. Great. What about the trees on the median going down Lakewood Ranch Boulevard between University and State Road 7? Now, I read the contract on this proposal. And someone made a remark regarding if we remove the trees, we have a better chance of that new road settling. Is that in the contract? And if it is,
I don't know. I have to look into that.
would you please?
But I will tell you, there's nobody named someone. So if you know their name, give me their name.
Okay,
And, you know, one of the things that I would like you to do is state your name and, you know, your district of residence when you start. Because there are some people here that are gonna be from another district.
so that was my, and the cars racing up and down Lakewood Ranch Boulevard.
We just opened Premier Park the other day, okay? You can see the bulldozers there, we're gonna be building a park. We're putting a new sheriff's substation here, okay? We need more police presence in this area, and we've already taken that into consideration. I already got, you know, it was kind of funny, because somebody wanted to meet with me, you know, and actually had me talk to one of their clubs, and I told them I can't, I'm going to jail. Because I met with the sheriff on that Wednesday, and, you know, we talked about the substation being here, and we want the substation here so that we have more of a police presence. We also, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you went down Lakewood Ranch Boulevard the other day, you saw a state police. Yeah, they are definitely helping us too, because we want more police presence if we want that drag race to stop.
Great, thank you.
Hi, Dr. McCann, I'm back here. First, congratulations again, and you did a great job on that marathon meeting the other day that I was on the phone for a lot of, was it 12 hours, 14 hours? It was a long time. It was a long time. One of my concerns is we had developers come in and want to go into wet areas, and they convinced the previous board that their engineering would take care of that. And even though it's wet right now, they're going to do their voodoo, and the water is miraculously not going to impact everybody. And they're going to build up to 4 feet and higher instead of 3 feet. So as we all know, when you build something a little higher and water's going to come in, the water's got to go somewhere. And what we saw after the storms is it ran into everybody else's neighborhoods that haven't had flooding here in 20 years that I've lived here. So my first question is, the projects that are currently in process, is there a mechanism where you can halt it and say, you assured us this wasn't going to be a problem? Obviously it is. We need engineers to kind of take a look at this again and make sure that this doesn't happen as you're continuing to put homes in these wet areas. And what are you going to be doing moving forward with new projects that are brought to you in areas that are wet? Thanks.
If there's any problem with any housing, we can stop it any phase. You've heard podcasts, you've heard things where, you know, at the final plat, we have to vote yes. That isn't true. The thing is that, you know, I've done a lot of administrative law. I've been a lawyer for 25 years. And I can tell you that, you know, right now, a lot of the things that are happening is they're coming up and they're taking the staff's word for it, attorney's word for it, and say, oh, well, I guess we have to vote this way. You know, the thing is that the way an ALJ works, and we're sitting in the capacity of an ALJ, which is an administrative law judge, we can go get all of the paperwork for both sides from the start of this, review this, ask the proper questions. Now, they are correct in stating
If it conforms to 177, then you have to vote yes. But to me, you've got to prove it conforms. Okay? It's not just, oh, I'm a lawyer. Trust me. Take my word for it. No. So I review all of these things, you know, and if they conform, then obviously I would vote yes. But the thing is that, you know, I have documents here, and anybody that's from Heritage Harbor, I want to talk to you tonight, because, you know, this is just one document that gives the history of what they want to do over there in building their hotel. I've read the whole thing. I've looked through the whole thing. There's other documents there that are along with it. But the thing is, you know, when we vote on this tomorrow, I'm going to take your vote. And if you live in that neighborhood, I'm definitely going to vote your way. If you tell me you want, you know, so many more rooms, you want them to change the map, and you want another floor built on there, then I'll vote yes. If you tell me you don't want that kind of expansion, I'll vote no. If for some reason you're getting flooded, and this is happening in District 1, you know, they're actually pumping water out of things into other people's yards, you know, then we have to stop that. Okay? If they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, we have to stop that. But, you know, again, we don't know. Tell us. We'll make it happen.
Thank you for having this forum. My name is Barbara Thicklin. I live on Waterline Road, and I'm one of the farms. We're far from the 500-person developments that are affected, but we were affected because of a 500-house development that was built along back of our farms. And what we saw last year was not just hurricane flooding. My horse farm had to be evacuated 3 times from regular afternoon 45-minute downpours. We have a little stream that intersects our property and normally has 5 inches of water in it. There is a new pipe that runs from the development, from the water runoff from their street that runs into our little tiny stream. And you can just watch the water rise, and it comes, thankfully, it only came within 3 feet of our house. But again, horses, animals had to be evacuated. They can't stand in water. So there's a lot of expense there that's happening, and it could be even worse. So, you know, I'm wondering, is there, I spoke with Mr. Ron. He approached me after a board meeting. He said, we're going to take care of that. And I had a couple county workers email me, and then November came, and I was ghosted. Nobody's answering. Nobody's saying anything. And I think the street needs to be addressed. It needs to be cleaned out. There's a lot of things that could be done because the development's already happened. Now we've got to look at fixing what has happened because of it. Thank you.
Well, if you come past my office, you're going to hear loud music. We're playing Twisted Sister. We ain't going to take it anymore. Okay? So what I want you to do is take a picture where the pipe is, show me what it is, and then come to my office and visit me. And I don't even care if it's from my district. That doesn't matter. Okay? Come to my office, and we'll call the appropriate people from the county to my office, and we'll get it taken care of. Because that's the way we do it.
Thank you, Commissioner McCann. I should have voted for you in the hope that you would be the fresh air that the commission needed, and apparently that is the case. We applaud you and we applaud your initiatives. I'm David Goldheim, member of the Country Club in District 5, and the reason that I've asked for the mic is that we live adjacent to the Players Drive Marine Road intersection. We had advocated for a roundabout there a number of years ago. Vanessa Ball previous commissioner, and the commission approved that. More recently, it's been revised to include a traffic light and not a roundabout. We feel that a roundabout expedites traffic, reduces noise, reduces air pollution. It is a bit more expensive to install, but over the period of operation, the cost is less than a traffic light, and the maintenance is less than a traffic light. We believe that for the growth of Lorraine Road as a corridor, it's the best way to control traffic and have it calm to the point where Lorraine Road and Players Drive can cross safely and effectively for pedestrians, cars, bikers, and so on. And would ask that you revisit this with an open mind that perhaps a roundabout could be a better solution at that intersection. Thank you.
So again, you said you voted for me. Is this side that voted for me over here? The roundabout there was going to be put in place. It was approved. There were a bunch of red shirts that came out and said, don't approve it. They called Rex Jensen. He agreed with them. And that's how it got changed. It got changed to a traffic light by doing that. The history is readily available in the Observer. So, you know, as far as revisiting that, I'm going to tell you seriously, you know, I was born and raised on the southeast side of Chicago. We didn't know what a roundabout was. Okay. As far as being an open mind, I'll definitely listen. But, you know, my stated joke when I was running was I want to put two roundabouts together, see who gets stuck in figure eight. I'm not a fan of roundabouts. And where you're saying roundabout, where you feel it would make traffic flow, two of the areas in the roundabout that have to actually enter the roundabout are gated. There's gates at both of them. Okay, so once you enter that roundabout, you've got a gated community. How do you get out? If something happens, if there's an accident at the other end of the roundabout. You talked about Lorraine Road. I talked about that at my meeting on the 28th. They want to build affordable housing down by Savannah on Lorraine Road. You know, that's down by Mariposa. That's not really a road. Okay, I've seen sidewalks that are wide. And, you know, I said, but we don't have to worry about it. Lorraine Road's going to be done on 2027. But we'll have access until 2027. Then I put a picture of a halo jump up. Because, again, building too fast, the roads can't handle it. One of the reasons you're talking about is traffic flow. And definitely we're working on traffic flow. I've had the chief engineer for the roads in my office probably, you know, I've been there 2 months and, you know, he's probably spent the whole 2 months in my office. Because we keep talking about the fact that you need roads, you need them now, you need traffic relief. You know, I think that the lights themselves probably need to be better sequenced. I know that the purpose for them is to stop traffic and to slow traffic. But the thing is, if nobody's coming in another direction, there should be a sensor up there that says you should be able to go. You shouldn't have to wait 6 minutes with nobody going the other direction. So there's a lot of things that we're working on in traffic. We're going to have a workshop on the 19th. You know, if you want to come and talk about the roundabout at that time, the whole board will hear you. Most of the time, the whole board hears you anyway because everybody's writing all 7 commissioners at the same time. And, you know, I would prefer that you just write to me so I can get it done. The other commissioners don't, you know, try to get involved ahead of time because it just slows the process. You know, and again, he's very responsive. He'll respond to you know, as fast as he can. And it will be within 24 hours.
I would just comment that Rex Jensen changed his view a couple of years ago.
I know, I put the 16 roundabouts that he put up there, you know, on the overhead at the last meeting. And again, personally, if you ever went down to Cooper Creek down there, you know, they have, you know, Bonefish Grill. They have a lot of nice places. It's supposed to be one car goes out, one car comes in, one car comes in. But when 30 of them shoot out there, you just sit there and wait and say, geez, I hope I can get in.
Thank you. My name is Valerie Stafford Manlis, and I've lived here for 28 years. And I have a question. You mentioned a couple of times to email you with concerns. And I actually did that on Friday, January the 24th, and got no response, which was really kind of disappointing. So I would like to know, how do we get a response? I emailed Dr. Bob McCann at mymanatee.org.
Email Ed Bailey, you'll get a response. Email Dr. McCann, you're gonna go into oblivion, because the thing is, I had 700 emails from people outside my district.
Okay, so say I'm a person with profound hearing loss. Tell me again the magic email address.
Give her a card.
I'll give you a part of it. Email
Okay,
me.
that's the email. If you get it from him, you know, he's going through the emails all day long when I'm doing other things. And the thing is, that, like I say, I'm getting emails, people are emailing all 7 commissioners. I'm getting, you know, I probably got 15,000 emails in 2 months.
I agree with you with those roundabouts. They're kind of dangerous because the White Eagle Boulevard, the front of Little Work, near Rye Road, and all the construction trucks, and putting Wendy's up there and everything. It's crazy.
I'm Bob Shaw, I'm also from Chicago. What neighborhood were you from?
Southeast side.
What streets?
I lived at 10930 Buffalo. We were
Oh,
where St. Francis de Sales High School was, and George Washington High School.
I live
Andy
by-
Verdoliak was my older man.
He's in jail.
No, he's not.
Did he get out?
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, I was with the FBI in Chicago. I lived by the county jail when I grew up. But this is my question. The study is going to be supposedly on the flooding is supposedly going to be released on February 19th, if I'm correct. I think the county has already taken the position before you probably, is that we didn't do anything wrong. Now, there's been several theories of what caused the flooding, okay? Some say the river, some say the dam, some say some burn gave way. So I'm not sure what the real reason is why we really flooded. I know we got a hell of a lot of rain and the ground was saturated. Now, that may be the reason, okay? And there's nothing anybody could have done to prevent that from happening. But the county's already, hey, it's not our fault. We didn't do anything wrong. Well, somebody did do something over the years. That's why we flooded. I know the Braden River is a cesspool, okay, trees and everything. But really, this is premature, but was that the reason? If that's the reason, we'll get it cleaned up. But initially, the county, and I filed the claim with the law department, with the county, and at their request. And they came back and basically said, sorry, Charlie, you know, we didn't do anything wrong, but that's it. So I don't know what's going to happen when this report does come out. And hopefully, some people have already criticized this because it's being paid by the county. So how do we know it's really impartial when it was supposed to be impartial? And the county's taken the position that we didn't do anything wrong, and that may be right, okay? But this is what's the concern is, we got to get it fixed. We want to know what caused it, and what do we got to do to prevent it? I know you're on board on that, but that's the real reason with that. This has cost us a small fortune. You know, living in a non-flood zone and getting flooded, all right? Yeah, I think everybody who's been flooded is looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars in repairs, okay? And we don't want to go through this again. And we only had the county said we didn't do anything wrong, and it may be right. But are you confident that the report that's going to come out here is going to be impartial?
I don't know, and I haven't seen the report yet.
Okay, well,
I've been busy trying to get it taken care of. I don't care who owns it. You know, the thing is, Summerfield's in a CDD, it's part of Schrader, Manatee. You know, it's actually a little city that I can't touch. That doesn't mean I can't talk to the people that are there. And, you know, again, I'm willing to use county funds to get that river taken care of. That's not a problem. Now, to get that taken care of, though, we have to have the permission of the Army Corps of Engineers. Okay? And we're going into that. We're in the process of making all of this stuff happen so that we could just send a cleanup crew out there and get it taken care of. What belongs to us, we're going to fix. What belongs to Schrader Manatee, Rex says he's going to fix. Okay? What belongs to the CDD doesn't belong to the stewardship and doesn't belong to us. I haven't had a chance to talk to them yet. I have been over to Summerfield many times, visited with many people there, and I will tell you, I've seen some things there that concern me too, and they need to be fixed. As far as Lake, to be honest with you, we could find that out later. We got 4 months to hurricane season. Let's stop it from happening again. That's my major goal. So that's what I want to happen. If it was my house, I'd be going pulling the stuff out of the river. Now, was there a berm supposed to be there? Would a berm help? If there is, we'll put one there, because I do not want to flood again. I live in a river flood. You're my neighbors. And you've heard me say, I live in the river club. Some people lived in a river. That's not fair. Okay? So we are going to get this taken care of. And as you know from law enforcement, I worked at Cook County Jail myself. I can tell you that what we could look into who's at fault after we fix it.
But one of the problems was nobody was taking responsibility for the river. It was like, it's his, it's his, it's his.
I'll take responsibility for cleaning it up. That's what we have to do.
Hey, nice to meet you, and thank you for representing us. Interestingly enough, perfect timing, thank you. The berm. I live at ground zero, basically, in the Biloxi's we chatted about, right across the street from where the Braden River has an overflow and goes behind the other side of my neighborhood. We drove through for a feet of water to get out, and it was not standing water as you would expect from a rain. It was roaring water that has now diminished the berm. We've spoken to Lakewood Ranch. We've talked to the IDA. We do know one thing, that has not been, you know what Lakewood Ranch did? They put pine needles, beautiful architectural pine needles there. Now, one person has come to build that berm back up or dig that trough out from that water that was there. So I really hope that we can get that done. Secondly, I do know that SMR is responsible for the lakes, because when we have a nuisance alligator, they're not allowed to have a trapper on there unless we get approval from town hall. Our lake, we're one of the original subdivisions from 1995, and right now when you see our lake, because of the lack of water they got, the pipes are showing. A normal pipe is round. Our pipes have about 2 to 3 inches of sediment on the bottom from many years of not being maintained or taken care of. So we don't know who to talk to, and really, if we can take care of that river, a simple berm of putting some shell or some building that back up, that it was, I witnessed it being wiped out and brushed away. And here we are 6 months later, almost to the day, and not one person has addressed the weakest point where it came over in front of my house. So that I asked for help from, that's a great place to start, in addition to clearing out that ditch that got filled up from all the water. Oh, can I, and then the other thing to address your question, we do know that there was a fault at the dam. The person that ran the dam was not even in town. This hurricane was in the Gulf of America for many, many days before. And the person was not in town to handle the emergency. So I think there is a failure there. So thank you.
I appreciate that, but I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to lay blame on anybody. I'm going to fix it first. I think that's what needs to happen. We can lay the blame. We've got a lot of time to do that. Okay. As far as what you're saying, hey, I saw the man that sloped down the street. I visit with Terry Eagle many times. They wanted to take the trailers out of his, driveway. He said, no, I need them. The other thing is, again, I talked about the moratorium. I don't want to do that. But the thing is that when they talk about taking food off somebody's table, I said, you didn't have a table. You threw it out the street along with your floor, your walls, and the memories that you cannot replace. So, again, I made it very vocal and very clear what happened in that neighborhood. And, we need to get it fixed, definitely. There were 2 95-year-old people there. One of them was laying in the bed, and the water came all the way up to their mattress, okay? They had to be physically taken out by the police and evacuated, okay? I went over there, and they actually were sitting in their lanai in the heat, and they didn't want to turn the fan on, Okay, they asked for some toast. They went in the house and they found out that their toaster was thrown out, along with the walls and the floor. Okay, they had a big pile over there. And that big pile had mats going through it. And I had that removed. And I want to tell you that the county administrator, I called him, I said that I need that removed. They removed it that night. Okay, so again, believe me, I know a lot of what's going on there. I know the history. I've been in the River Club since 2006. So we got to get things fixed first, and then we can all go after the blame.
I was the CD1 meeting last month. They had no idea who was responsible for grading the river. Their attorneys there had no idea. They did instruct his staff to find out who's responsible for maintaining the CD1 grading river portion. Director of Natural Resources, Charlie Hunsaker, said it was each CD1 around that river. So this meeting, he is supposed to have the information back from his staff and what the responsibility is, whose it is, and how it's going to be taken care of. So if you could communicate with him, maybe we can get the ball in the street pretty quick. Thank you.
I will be communicating with him and the district authority. Again, I don't care whose it is, we need to get it fixed. You know, we can worry about which money exchanges hands later on. We got $254,000, and that's the number one priority on the list that we have right now. Okay, because the Braden River needs to be cleaned up. We know there's sediment underneath the bridge. We know it's blocked. We know that the golf course blocks some of it. And the thing is, we need to get it unblocked. And we've got 4 months to do it because it's a ticking time bomb. And I will be talking to the Inter-District Authority, all 6 of them at one time. I think they went down to 4 now because of the stewardship district. But again, I'm going to their meeting and I will meet with all of them at the same time.
Thank you.
They got there. We'll get there. We got some now.
Dr. McCann, congratulate you on your new position, and I wish you a lot of luck and success. I just want to give you an update on Mr. Goldstein's comments on the roundabout versus traffic light. I'm Nancy Haas. I am currently a director at the HOA at Country Club East, and I led the Red Shirts along with my team with hundreds of residents from both Country Club and Country Club West to go to oppose that roundabout. And what was decided, excuse me, what was decided by the commissioners and by the engineers was there's no room there for a roundabout. So that's been decided, and I'll give you an update. The work on the temporary light starts next week. So we will be getting a temporary light at the traffic at the intersection of Lorraine and Players, and then I believe by the summer we should get a permanent light. Okay, I want to thank you for that.
Do you have a speed sensor on it?
I'm sorry.
Come on. Do you have a speed sensor on it? Stop on the traffic up too fast. I can hear it from my house.
Why do you need a temporary light? Why can't we put a permanent one there? They do a little test and then they can make it permanent. I can expedite it.
Well, apparently they're doing it temporary because it takes so long to do the underground work and all the other work. So they're at least getting a light in there. It's very dangerous on that intersection right now to try to make a right or a left turn. So residents are really just looking for something to help with that traffic flow. And a temporary light we're happy with, as long as they're working the process to get that permanent.
Talk to Ed before you leave. Give me your name. Give me exactly where you're talking about. And I'll talk to the, again, Chad will just come to my office again tomorrow.
Thank you.
You made her wait a long time.
Okay. I'm Sue Ann Miller, and I'm president of the Friends of the Lakewood Ranch Library. Ed and I have communicated. We've been trying to get a meeting with you, and we We thank you for being here. We know how very busy you are, and it's tough to get a meeting with you, but we do need a meeting with you. We want to, there's an urgency to what I'm going to share with you, even though, sorry folks, it is a total change of topic. We're going to talk about this library here, and we're going to talk about the second floor. And there is conversation going on in our government about what's going to go up there. And our job as friends of the library is to advocate for the library. So I do want to share with you and anything you can do to help expedite this. Our library staff needs space for more books. They need what are called stacks. They need space for more books. We have about 46,000 items here, and you can't visualize what that means until I tell you Great River Library has 86,000. All right, this library does not have enough books. Now, it's a county system. Any book you want, it's in the county, you're going to get it. But this library is designed more for open space and meeting space, but we need more books. The other thing that we did not get when the library was designed is small study rooms. And this is something that the residents have been not just asking about, but being pretty strong that we need small study rooms here on that second floor. They need to be rooms for 2 people, 4 people, 6 people, and there needs to be multiple rooms. For the Friends, we need a prep storage workspace so that people can donate here at the library books that they want to donate to our bookstore. We cannot accept books here. We can't put a bin out there in the library because we do not have storage space here. We are using my garage and our treasurer's extra bedroom. And we actually prep all the books, look at all the books. We have to clean them. We have to inspect them, get them. We have to decide if they're appropriate for the bookstore. And then we are lugging them in. And we can't continue to do that. So we need some space up there. We still want to meet with you. We still want to discuss this with you. But again, there seems to be an urgency because it is being discussed apparently at the community, the government center. We have really one health concern, and I'm going to ask Regina Negris, who is our vice president, to talk about the handicap curb.
So the curb in front of this library is very high, higher than normal, in my opinion. And on opening day last year, my 81-year-old mother could not get over that curb with a cane. And people have fallen and been bloodied in their head multiple times, and we need a handicapped entrance right there. It's directly across from the handicap parking, but there's no handicap entrance. They have to go all the way around to the side of the building in order to get up on the sidewalk. Secondly, the drive up window to pick up and drop off books, you have to lean out halfway in order to reach the librarians. The curb is too wide right there. It needs to be narrowed and curved inward in order to reach the librarians and return books. I mean, I've actually been halfway out the window in order to reach and return books. So
we know the new ramp is approved, but it's been over 6 months. We're waiting for that new ramp. Anything you can do to make that.
Is that in my office downtown, so we can talk to the people that can get this done. Make it for next week. We'll talk to you right after Pat Neal.
Don't forget the library advisory board, sir.
I'm not.
Yeah, the library, the citizen advisory board, they should be on it too, so.
I'm not on it, but if you all want to come to my office, you're more than welcome. I got an open door.
Hi, Dr. McCann. I'm Jill Salsanich from Summerfield. Congratulations on your new role. You're a breath of fresh air. You're saying everything we want to hear. This is not a type of meeting I would normally come to, but things changed on August 5, 2024, when my entire neighborhood was swallowed, when my house was swallowed, when my children inside, no warning. I'm here tonight with a lot of my homeowner neighbor friends. We're here because we believe and have hope and change and faith in you. A couple of points and questions
I had for you tonight. In September, I coordinated a meeting with Jody Fisk and her team, and she brought in a FEMA liaison. We were gonna have a follow-up meeting, and then Helena Milton came into town. Me and my neighbor friends, we are still struggling with FEMA. Jody has a FEMA liaison contact, but I haven't been getting responses. We are still struggling with FEMA-related issues. FEMA denied my moving and storage claim because they said my disaster did not qualify for moving and storage. That is unacceptable. Are you able to help with a FEMA contact? Because it's just been going on too long. My second question was on my mind, and I'm sorry, I'm shaking because I'm nervous. This means a lot.
Take your time.
Okay.
I understand what's going on, believe me. I already have. a
I
meeting
know
set
you
up.
know.
I already have a meeting set up with people.
Okay, oh, and the last thing, sorry. See, as soon as you take it away, it comes back. Thank you. Is it possible, I brought this up at an HOA meeting that me and my neighbors went to a few weeks ago. They said they reached out to you, they haven't heard back from you, whatever, it doesn't, I don't care. Is it possible to set up a meeting with you or HOA or CBD to come together as one to make sure that our future is dry and high and protected? Because we are willing, we are ready, we are waiting. We want to know we are supported, because for the last 6 months, we have felt forgotten, ignored, like we don't matter. So that's something I wanted to know if we could do that too. Thank you.
Of course, we can do that. You can ask that gentleman right there. He was at the HOA meeting and he sent me a text and I was on the phone with him. And they didn't try to get a hold of me. They didn't even know my name. They said, I think he's a doctor, Bob. They didn't even know my name. So they did not try to get a hold of me. Yes, I would like to talk to your HOA and the CDD and all of you together. I think that would be great. And we can set that meeting up at Lakewood Ranch Town Hall. I mean, that's only 5 minutes from my house. That's easier than driving downtown. But the thing is that they didn't even know my name. So they did not try to get a hold of me. I've had a lot of people say, we tried to get a hold of you. I had a doctor that I knew from the time I came here. He came to the last county meeting. He said, well, I didn't know how to get a hold of you. And it's like, you live like 2 blocks from me. Okay. And I've been here since 2006. I hear that a lot. I know that the last commission was not responsive. We've been responding to everybody. Okay? We have the website fixed. Our number's on there. You can get a hold of Ed anytime. You can call me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Somebody wrote something in the Bradenton Times saying that they had trouble getting a hold of me. They wrote it in Bradenton Times. I called her back on Sunday morning. Okay? And I said, I read this morning. Okay? I'm not responsible for what's on that website. We got it fixed now. We made it happen. Okay? And at that time, she was very complimentary. We talked about what she needed. And as soon as I was done, I called Ed. Ed called her and said, now you have my cell phone number too. So we will respond if somebody really gets a hold of it.
And are we able to get some hopefully for FEMA contacts?
I already have a meeting set up with FEMA so I can talk to them. Because there's a lot of people in the neighborhood, and I'm going to find out what's going on with FEMA, what they're doing, where they're doing it. We are also looking at acquiring another building over here in District 5, and the second floor is all FEMA. So the thing is, yeah, we are definitely going to get a hold of FEMA, and your CDD.
I can get you a list of how many people are still waiting on appeal, like me. I can give you all the data and information to take to them. Let's say, listen, we need to help these people because it's been a financial nightmare, as my friend said.
Oh, I understand.
So,
believe me, I understand. I kept going over to this one guy's house in your neighborhood, and I watched him living in his driveway. And the thing is that, you know, again, I saw the pain. I saw them throwing memorabilia out that they can't recover. You know, there is something that needs to be done here. And again, I don't care who takes responsibility, let's fix it.
If there's anything I can do to help with that meeting, please, I'm here to help. Thank you.
Most definitely. Okay, now, Robert's Rules of Order. I'm Robert.
That's true.
Okay, if you give the microphone to somebody, they gotta give it back to you. They don't get to pass it on.
Thank you, Commissioner. My name is Luis Humana Williams. I live in the Lakewood Ranch country. Okay. Pertaining to flooding, Southwest Water Management, SWIMUD, and Newberry, the engineering firm in Orlando, have both stated that the drainage system that is existing in this community performed as it was supposed to do. In other words, it did the job that it was intended to do. I don't agree with that. So the system was designed for 10 inches of rain. We had 14 to 17, depending on who you speak with. So as you go forward with development, it would seem to me that you need to address the drainage.
That's what we're doing.
Oh, yes, sir. No, I get it. But you know, it gets even more complex than that. You talk to CDB and IDA, and they'll tell you that SMR owns the bottom of the lake. That they're only responsible for the edge of the lake. They won't dredge the swales, and they will not provide riprap in the lakes where there's massive erosion. And furthermore, of course, they won't let us dike to protect our houses. So one of the issues you're probably aware of is that this is going to get a little bit technical on the engineering side. And I hope you get some technical people that know what they're talking about. But don't listen to these engineers that want to avoid litigation and fault when they tell you that the system worked as it was supposed to do, because it's synonymous with saying that you're going to flood again. We had 3 hurricanes this year, and I'm going to tell you, you better brace yourself because this is not the last flood, unless you fix the problems you have today. Thank you.
Well, I'm a little ahead of you because I already talked to the engineer. And they're correct. It did exactly what it was supposed to do in 1992. Okay? That's unacceptable, obviously. They're doing a comprehensive study right now. I told them, studies are fine. I want results. Okay, they talked about a long-term plan, and I said, that's fine. I've got a community called Summerfield. You need to stick a pin in it now because I don't want us to flood again.
Thank you.
I don't want to hear about what we're going to do in the future. Yes, we do need a stormwater drainage system. Yes, we do need to stop throwing, you know, sewage into the river and into the Gulf. That needs to stop. That's Bradenton. I don't have control over. Okay, but that doesn't mean I can't be told. The other thing I told people is, and you know, I told other commissioners, the thing is that we had a very long meeting the other night. Went all the way till 11:30 at night. I said, you haven't seen anything yet. If we don't do something about this flooding, I'm going to have 500 people on the phone, 1,500 people on the phone, 500 people in the day. They all get 3 minutes to talk. So what we need to do is we need to get some action going. And I do have people in this area that retired traffic engineers, retired lawyers, retired, you know, road specialists. I mean, these people are very educated. One of the things I'm blessed with is a very educated community over here. And they're all willing to help and they're all willing to talk. I have a whole team of people that I put things by and say, could you look at this for me and tell me, am I correct? What do I need to say? Because again, I'm speaking for you, not for me. You know, I was fortunate. I didn't flood. I live on Doones Court and our house is raised a little bit and we have some wetlands right behind us. So, but I will tell you, the water came all the way up to my door. I thought it was going to come in, but we didn't flood. So we were blessed, but not everybody in the neighborhood was. So we got to make sure that never happens again. You know, people talk about a storm surge. There's no storm surge over here. okay? The Braden River, okay? I don't care who it belongs to. We gotta clean it out. It's full of sediment, it's full of garbage. I saw a pipe behind somebody's house. I won't say your name. The thing is that pipe has a good sized diameter. If you take all of the sediment that is already concrete in there out of it, it might do its intended purpose. But then again, it is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in the yard. Okay, that's unacceptable. The problem is we have a series of places for water to go here, and they're called retention ponds. Right now, they're dry. Okay. One thing we have here is we have a shortage of water. We're going to have a shortage of drinking water soon. But, you know, Florida, what we get here is we get 7 months of drought, and we get all the rain we're supposed to get all at one time. And we aren't equipped to handle it. And that's what happened in this last thing. We aren't equipped to handle it. Nobody cleans the river because we didn't flood. Well, one of the programs we want to put in place is at least yearly, there's going to be dredging of all of the ditches so that water has a place to run them to. There's going to be cleaning of that river. And again, we want to set this on a program. And we want to have this program continuous because the hurricanes are continuous and they aren't saying to us, well, we'll wait for you to clean up.
Thank you, Commissioner, for having this meeting. Everybody, really appreciate it. My name is Sam Malice. I live in the Summerfield Woods and Bluffs neighborhood. My wife and I were one of the fortunate ones that did not flood, but I'm very feeling Jill and Bob over here, who I've talked to several times. We moved in 28 years ago, and in January of 97, November of 97, and March of 98, flooding happened in Summerfield Woods and Bluffs. Now, back then, the Braden River 1999 bridge was not there, and all the development south of where the bridge is now was pasture land. Country Club was just getting started near University Parkway. The hospital wasn't there. Nothing was out there. Lorraine Road wasn't there. It was all pasture land, farmland, whatever. So I went back and pulled a news article from 1998, in March 9th of 98, and I'll provide this, you can have a copy of it. And they were interviewing C.L. Malinarzar, Manatee County Stormwater Division Manager. And they quoted him regarding the flooding in Lakewood Ranch. Asked about the persistent flooding in Lakewood Ranch, Malinarzar said, the Braden River drains 60 square miles, about 40,000 acres, out of which approximately 17,000 acres runs right through Lakewood Ranch. There are some fogs along the river. According to the engineers working for Lakewood Ranch, and based on reconnaissance that they performed on the river, they have identified areas of the river where there's heavy deadwood, brush, and exotic vegetation that needs to be removed. We will help out to the extent practical, but Manatee County is not in the river maintenance business. So, okay. I also want to make one other comment here. Keep in mind, everybody, these floods happened in November and March of the year. They were not hurricanes. They were cold fronts that came through and just dumped 20 inches of rain in Manatee County. So these floods can happen at any time, not just hurricane season. And I do appreciate what you're doing for us. Thank you.
Again, the thing is that this did happen before. I knew about that. Again, I've got the history of straight up Manatee. You know, I used to drive down Lakewood Ranch Boulevard and I actually saw farming. But, you know, you're talking about something remote in time. And obviously not much growth has happened since then, right? So, you know, again, not trying to be funny here. We're going to be in the river business. We're already talking to the Army Corps of Engineers. We're going to take this stuff out and we're going to clear out that river, even if we have to move you all on our way to do it.
Hi, Paul Lycan, over the Esplanade and Zario community. I just wonder, can you tell us what the plan is to widen Rain Road between 70 and 64? You can see the roundabout coming already on 64 and Lorraine. And according to you, it might be heaven or hell for us when that thing actually comes in. The light is working pretty good. But we've got a lot of building going on here on Lorraine Road. And it's the only road that hasn't been expanded that I can see around the neighborhood.
The Rain Road is supposed to expand 4 lanes by 2027. Okay? And I said, well, why don't we wait to build on the Rain Road? You know, why don't we wait? Why don't we wait to put in a commercial center that they want to put over there, 50,000 feet on the corner of the Rain Road and 70? And, you know, they explained at the day is that, well, you know, that's next to a Wawa, that's a great place to put a commercial thing. And I said, the traffic can't handle it. The other end of Lorraine Road, again, was where they want to build a affordable housing by Savannah. You know, I went down to Mariposa, and I almost missed the entrance to Mariposa and come back around to get it. That road is about the width of a sidewalk. And the thing is that there should be no building in it. But unfortunately, I had 4 commissioners that decided that they should put it in there. So, you know, I'm doing everything I can to stop this. But sometimes you're going to see 4-3, 4-3, 4-3. And, you know, my advice would be that you should talk with the commissioner at large and tell him what you want, because he represents you too. And you should let him know that it's not acceptable to do that. You know, yes, we need affordable housing. Do we need it there? No. Do we have the infrastructure to put it there? No, we don't. Okay, so, you know, there's a time and a place for this. And, you know, again, I don't think we should rezone something, and I don't think we should approve something just because we have a plan to do it.
But Lorraine Road is not to be developed in 2027. That's not true. There's not even a plan to find it after 2030.
Well, that's
So
what
you
they
gotta
told,
put the horse
that's
in
what
front-
they told me,
You
but
gotta
yeah.
put the horse in front of the cart.
You gotta watch that video. I already had that on there. I had the horse in front of the cart on that video. Watch that video, it was there. And I even labeled it. They had the guy that was driving it. I said that was the builders. The cart was the houses. Then the horse in the back was the people.
Okay, so you're complaining about what the other commissioners have done. So you share the town.
No, they did it. This board did it. This board did it. 4 commissioners voted for that to go on there on this board. That's why I also want you to talk to your at-large commissioner.
I'm sorry, let me introduce myself. My name is Frank Walker. I own 35 acres on the Rain Road. And we, first of all, yes, we can't get out our own driveway. So I totally agree, there's way too much traffic on the road. But my main point is you're preventing homeowners or people that own land on Lorraine Road to potentially develop their properties because the county hasn't done anything about the road. I think the main objective needs to be make Lorraine Road wider. And it keeps getting kicked down the road year after year after year. We've been talking about this since before 2020. We're now in 2025.
Ed,
There is
Make that point to that gentleman and have Chad in there at the same time so he can talk.
Good evening, Joe DiBartolomeo. I am the chairman of the Tara CDD. Before I ask Commissioner McCann my question, I just would personally like to applaud each and every one of you
because in the 20 years that I've lived here, and I've been an activist for the last 10 years, they've never seen a crowd this large, which shows your interest and commitment to the success of District 5. So thank you very much. So, Dr. McCann, we all know we have a flooding problem, and we know what the cause is, and I applaud you for looking forward on how to stop this. But my question is, there's been talk that Manatee County is the only county that doesn't have a storm fee, which would be an additional ad valorem to our taxes. And I also know that the commission is working not only on bringing the impact fees to where they need to be, but also on the comprehensive plan. So what's your thoughts on including in the comprehensive plan that besides having density studies and traffic studies and so forth, we make it mandatory that any area that has flooded needs a mandatory hydrology study before there's a single shovel in the ground? And also, can you assure us we won't pick up the fees through a stormwater fee and additional taxation to support the development that has already caused these problems? Thank you.
That was my opponent in the general election. You know, he's now partnering with me, he's trying to help me, and I think that's great. I get my information from everybody. I get my information from everybody. I went to a meeting, for his golf course over there in Terra, which is dropping all the, value of the houses over there because it's not well kept. And obviously I have no authority over there. But, I want to be informed on everything that's going on here. As far as the study goes, Rex Jensen already has one. He did it on Star Farms. He knows exactly what happened. He's going to be sharing that with me. Okay? So if we don't have to pay for another study, and believe me, I know a little bit about study, I would rather start getting some action done, because again, we don't have enough time. So he's actually sharing with me, his study, and we're looking at what needs to happen. And, he talked about, fees for this. I told him I don't want any more fees. I want it fixed. The problem we have, and maybe you can explain this to them, is, Summerfield is a CBD. A lot of people don't understand that you're a small city. You have your own authority. You have your own taxing authority. You're responsible for the infrastructure. But I don't care. I want to fix it. I don't care who pays for it. I think that's more important. We can say your problem, my problem, their problem. It's really their problem. And that's what we're here to fix. So the thing is that I believe we do have a stormwater department. And the thing is, what they need to do is they need to meet with you and tell you what they're doing. I like government in the sunshine. I like transparency. I even said that with my first opponent when he didn't show up. I talked to an empty chair and said, look how transparent he is. You can see through him. Okay, I like transparency. I want your words there, not mine. I agree with you on the Ray Road. Obviously, I don't go down that road because it takes me an hour to get from 70 to 64. Then when I get there, I say, what am I doing here? You got a roundabout here. It's going to turn me back up to Lorraine. So again, I want you to come in and talk to the person that's in charge of traffic and road building here. You can do that in my office. We'll just summon him to my office. And that way you can talk to him directly and you can tell him, look, we can't do this. And I think that's the important thing. And again, Rex is sharing with me what he did out at Star Farm. He's telling me exactly what he built in all of Schrader Manatee. That way I get to look at what you're doing in Schrader Manatee too. As far as getting another study, we only got 4 months. You know anybody that can do it in a week?
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing great. We spent a lot of time together.
Yes, we have. Bob, the retention ponds were built and engineered to absorb the water that was flooding these areas. Was there ever a plan to maintain those ponds? I mean, if they're engineered to take the water in, they had to equate sediment into it, and they had to have a maintenance plan to keep those lakes as deep as they made it when they first were made. Has anybody looked back to see if there was any maintenance requirements for those ponds and who was responsible for that maintenance?
I don't have that.
Because they couldn't have been engineered as shallow as they are today. And they can't retain water if they're full of sediment. And that's just as simple as it is. I'm
Yeah,
looking
now
out.
pipe that you have behind your house, they can't fall from one to another.
No,
I saw the pipes, I saw the sediment.
Yeah, there's an alligator there, so I won't try.
Mhm.
Anyway, I'm just saying, there had to be an engineering plan for those to be built, and there had to be a maintenance plan to keep them retaining the amount of water they were engineered to do.
What I will bring for you, the next time I talk to you, I will bring the whole map of all of the floodplains. I will bring a map of where all the water's supposed to go. I will bring a map of how it was designed, and I will show you exactly where the water was supposed to go, because I asked the same question.
Does that tell you how deep they were supposed to be and maintained?
It does not. It gives me an aerial view of where the water's supposed to go. It gives me an aerial view of where the water's supposed to go. But then again, that doesn't mean I can't ask these questions now that you're giving them to me. So give your questions to Ed, so he can write them down. That way we could take them back to the county building and say, hey, what's supposed to be here? How is this? Explain it to me. I'm not an engineer. I will tell you, I'm also not an orthopedic surgeon. If I was, there'd be a lot of people living.
SMR.
I am not handy with that kind of stuff.
SMR is supposed to be responsible for the retention pond. They should know what the maintenance plan should be to keep the depths and to hold that retention.
When
pond.
I get the slides from Rex, when I get the studies from Rex, I will share them with you. Okay? Because I want you to see exactly what they were supposed to do. And, if it's not something that's adequate, then somebody that's an engineer will make it adequate.
Sir.
Do we do one question? Did everybody get their first question yet before I go back?
There's somebody has.
I will go back.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Dr. McCann, for having this public meeting. I'm glad you brought up the question or the concern about the ponds. My concern also kind of ties into the ponds. My family has moved into Greenbrook Village a long time ago, back in 2003. And when the pond maintenance used to happen back then, there was a lot of lawn mowing where the workers would come by and they would mow the weeds and stuff around the pond. Well, about 7 years ago, I think it's been 7, maybe it's been 10, they kind of stopped that and they've been glyphosate spraying with a product called Aquanite. And my concern is the fact that it has been damaging root systems around the pond, but it's also dangerous. It's a dangerous chemical. We know about all the health hazards about glyphosate. And I've been to the CDD, the HOAs, the IDAs, and everybody's blaming the district. I've been to the Parks and Recreation, well, not to them in person, but on email with Michelle Atkinson. And I don't seem to get anywhere with them trying to find another alternative than using glyphosate. And when they do use it, they're not marking the trails. They're not marking where the ponds, where they just sprayed. And we see people walking their dogs and strolling their baby carriages, and they're bringing that stuff home. they're not waiting 24 hours. So my question to you is, what is your position on this? And there are other alternatives that are safer. And we need to watch out for the health of our residents and wildlife.
Most definitely. I ran on. The thing is, any suggestions you have, I'll be happy to take them. If you have an alternative way of doing something, that's great. But I will check with Rex Jensen again, and I will ask him about the ponds. And it sounds like that is a concern for everybody. So I'm going to ask him the purpose of the ponds, the depth of the ponds, how do you keep the ponds clean? How do you keep them dredged properly? And I will ask also about, if you're cutting grass and it's going into the pond, who takes it out? I think it's important that we, again, I want everybody to know what's going on in here. And anybody that has a suggestion on what we need to do, we'll make that suggestion.
Good evening, Commissioner McCann, Brittany Lamont, Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance. Yes, well, just stating my name as well. But, you've spoken a lot about, I know you don't want to say a residential moratorium, but when you start to talk about denying some of the commercial projects, I don't think that we want to give the perception that Manatee County is not open for business. And so just as the 2,500 businesses operating here in Lakewood Ranch, we as well would love to have a conversation with you. And I know we've reached out and would love the opportunity to connect just as your constituents as well.
Let's rename it Retention Ponds Ranch.
I have no problem with meeting with everybody. I'm sure he's already filling up my schedule. The moratorium would only be on residential houses. It would not be on commercial properties. There is no reason for a moratorium on commercial properties. You're not building 5,000 of them out in Sarasota, which is going to happen here shortly. It's already been approved by the Sarasota Commission. And unfortunately, they take water from Lakewood Ranch. Okay? They are over here in our area. I have no control over that whatsoever. I've already talked to some of the commissioners from there. Some of them are unhappy that they're building it. But I have never once said, and if you look at the Edgewater model that I'm using, there is absolutely no stopping of commercial property. And yet, meeting anytime.
Hi, my name is Diane Lambert. I'm a real estate broker in Florida and Illinois. I understand you did a meeting on Azario, the building behind Azario and Lorraine Road, and I was in Illinois. So can you, I have two clients that want to buy on Catarina. They want to know what's going on behind them. Can you help me with that? Do you have any information what's going to go on that 10 acres?
I have the information that was shared to me from people from Azario. I know what they're talking about there. And, again, I have a little bit of the information from them. In fact, I will tell you that, the first time I talked to the people in Azario about that, I was on a Zoom, and the people that were buying down there at the time, had Joe DiBartolomeo on that same Zoom. Okay, so the thing is that we actually are talking about what's going on back there. And, I have asked to pull documents so I can see exactly what's going on back there. And, the thing is that I understand that the people of Azario don't want it. Okay, so again, as soon as it comes up, then we can do something about it. But I'm not going to be the one that just brings it up and says, hey, I want to act on this now. Bring it to me. As soon as it comes up, we can do something with that. They also want to build something over at Terra. And the thing is that over at Terra, we have to look, is it going to be beneficial or not? They're already mediation over that. They're coming to some type of agreement. And the thing is that that's going to come before us in April. Okay, so when it comes before us, we'll take a look at it. And if it's beneficial, and if Terra did agree to that through the mediation, then it's something that, we'll give to them. You know, but if it's something that doesn't fit the neighborhood, it just should not be there.
Right. I did hear a couple of things that, they were talking about a 4-story building, then 3-story. Do you know where it's at? I mean, I have to
It's
tell it
still
to
up-
my client today.
The way I'll put it, it's still up in the air.
Pardon?
It's still up in the air.
It's still 4 stories.
Don't know. It's still moving.
Hi, Commissioner McCann. Thank you so much. This is the first time, I think, a lot of us that have been flooded feel like we're being heard. I've gone to other meetings where they talk down to us, so thank you. I'm so glad that we have a strong man in a position that we need. One thing I know we've talked about with the other families, we had 14 inches go through the house. I have a disabled husband. It was rough on me, but it was really rough on my 93-year-old neighbor and his 86-year-old wife that I had to help through it, and he just passed away Sunday. So that's like a story that people should know, like at the end of his life, he had to deal with it. But my main thing is like the dam. Nobody's talking about the dam. The video of the dam being fully open was like, whoa, okay. When we go to these meetings, we're talked down to, we had 17 inches, it was a 100-year storm, you guys are crazy, you know, I'm so sick of that. So thank you for not being like that. The supervisor went away. She should be fired. I mean, I can't believe with Debbie coming and all that rain, we knew it was coming, that she was allowed to go away. And that nobody's like thinking it's a big deal. Because from what I heard, nobody could contact her. She was in Europe. So also, does the dam that you know of, do they sell water to Tampa? Were they afraid to lower the amount of water because they get money for it? That was one thing that I heard that I don't know if it's true, but I did hear that. Also, everything that was supposed to be a safeguard did not work. So like, can we look into the dam also is my question.
I have talked to some people about that. And yes, I do give a damn. I think it's important that, you know, we get the whole watershed picture. We look at the whole thing. You know, I'm going to let them release their report first because I'm not just going to come out to do those things. I think it's important that they get to speak their piece. I like when people speak because I hold them to the truth. If they say something that isn't true, I'll be happy to bring it up. I think you have a right to know. It has affected all your lives. And again, I spent a lot of time with that gentleman over there, and I can tell you that that was tragic. And I keep saying it just about every meeting over and over again. We're not going to flood Summerfield again this year. It's not going to happen. If we have to, we'll point another name.
And yeah, they did that too. But it's still tragic. It was tragic and it's still.
And it shouldn't happen. That's the whole thing. It shouldn't happen. Okay, this gentleman has been waiting to talk, so let's let him talk.
I'll be back. If any of you folks need information or might have had flooding or near flooding, Southwest Water Management has a library that goes back prior to the creation of Lakewood Ranch. If you file a complaint or you talk to them, they'll be happy to research your case and send to you electronic records of the blueprints on which your property was built. You know, I think that this flooding situation, like I said, is going to be recurrent. However, in the end, you got to understand that, for example, the folks that sit at operations, IDA, and CDD, they basically feel like, hey, not our responsibility. So what's left? They're probably going to have to generate some revenue if you want this thing dredged. I don't know that it's within their budget to do it. I'd be willing to bet that they don't, but they are sure as hell keeping their mouth closed. Thank you.
Dr. McCann, good to see you again. I'm one of your beneficiaries of your AME FAA thing, through my special issues. So thank you. Most importantly, I'm sitting on this side of the room, just so you know. So I'm one of those people, but I'm
Is that a voter or a non-voter? I'm the voter. Okay. So, anyway,
I wanted to make sure that people know and appreciate that you're a doer, not a dreamer, and that you actually get things done. And I've seen that over the past, well, since you've been in office here. I'm impressed, and I'm looking forward to working with you a lot more. I have to echo some sentiments from Jill.
Yes.
And also from you as well. I was underwater over at River Club. I'm only a couple blocks away from you. But one of the things I wanted to make sure that we address, and I've heard it a couple of times kind of come out, there's some of the lift stations that didn't work. The one right at River Club Boulevard and right at the bridge did not work. And whenever I was trying to rescue my animals out, and my granddaughter and everything, put them on kayaks and things out of my house, there was sewage coming through my house. So what I'm looking at, we have 4 months to address this problem. And what needs to happen is making sure that, one, the flooding never happens again, because the water was coming the actual opposite direction of where the river was. But the other part of that is making sure that these lift stations are working to where I'm not having my neighbor's sewage coming to my house or anybody else's for that matter. Any sewage, come to think about it.
Get with Ed, give him your name, make sure that he has everything, and we will talk to the people that are in charge of making sure the lifts work. We'll have them check.
Wonderful, thank you. Yeah.
Different.
Thank you, Dr. McCann, for being here. My name is Jim Tulin. I live in Azario, and I want to revisit the comments you made earlier. Couldn't agree with you more that the 2-lane sleeping road that's called Lorraine is not able to support more building. The property adjacent to Azario that is proposed to be developed, I understand is currently zoned for agricultural and future R1, allowing for up to 19 single-family homes, which comports with the area. My understanding is that they're looking to rezone that for high density with up to 362 high-density units, which would completely overwhelm Lorraine Road. Can you commit that no development will occur there in such high density? First of all, the preference is it never does, but at least until Lorraine Road goes 4 lanes. Number one. Number two, are you aware if the developer has currently submitted a request for the zoning to be changed, and how can that be stopped?
I don't see Lorraine as a road. Again, I see it as a sidewalk that people drive on. But the thing is that I don't know of any application that's in process right now. But as you heard from the board last time, the chairman of the board, who's an at-large commissioner, said, we're just going to say no. We can't build until such time that the infrastructure is in place. That's why I need you to talk to these people and say, we need to hold you to it. You already know I'm going to do everything in my power to stop. And 1 vote, we need 4.
Do you think there are 4 votes that will say no?
I would hope there would be, because it would be common sense, but right now, you know, I can't tell you how these people are going to vote.
Well, you just said the chairman's votes, that's 2.
I didn't say, I said, he said he would say no.
That's 2.
But he said yes to 2 things, building here, 1 on Lorraine Road. So the thing is that I don't know how they're going to vote.
Who would you recommend that we work on to get to know?
Everybody. Everybody writes to all 7 commissioners. Tell them we don't have the room in our neighborhood. Come on over and see it. You know, and that would be a good thing, because we could have 7 cars lined up there, and they can all say, wow, nobody can get out. That would be a good thing.
I'm going to reach out to you. I need the contact info for the at-large. We can at least start with him.
There's 2 at-large commissioners, Commissioner Beard and Commissioner Cruz.
Can I get that contact info?
Yes.
It's out, point you in the right direction.
just get the actual contact info, so make it easy.
Thank you.
The thing is that I don't think there should be any building on Lorraine Road. I've already been quoted as saying, we should build a wall on each end of Lorraine Road until it's built. So, again, I'm a little vocal, I'll tell you that. But, the thing is, I agree. That's a side road, not a road.
Sir, when you contact them, you gotta make sure you put their assistants on that email, because those are the eyes and ears.
Thank you.
And then if you don't get a response, send it next week.
Norman, sorry?
It's your turn.
Oh, thank you. Norman Bailey, I live in Lakewood Ranch. And I've been looking at some of these zoning areas. I think a lot of it comes back to the comprehensive plan and what it was, the design basis. And when you're approving a 3,000 house development, and then you take it to a 5, the design basis changed completely. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's like the Lakewood Ranch, when they started that, 0.4 of an acre lot, now they're on probably 0.32 acre. So the density of all the housing is increased as it's been going along, but I don't think the design basis has ever been changed to accommodate that, because now you've got asphalt, concrete, instead of having open fields. And the design basis for fields versus rural or residential areas, sorry, it's changed a lot.
Workshop on the 19th on rewriting the comprehensive plan. It's about time. I've been saying it over and over again. Every time they refer to this comprehensive plan, I say, where is it? Can I see it? When I first came here,
Yes.
yes, it's an open meeting for everybody.
Where is it?
At the county building.
At the county building at Pat's last mall.
Oh, you don't want to try.
The thing is that when I first came here, they told me they had a comprehensive plan. I told them when I was a kid, we had a thing called a coloring book. We used to stay within the lines. If you color outside the lines, the picture didn't look good. The FDAD here has moved so many times that the plan doesn't matter. I'm not picking on building. I'm not picking on commercial. I'm not picking on the people that did it. We just put 50,000 square feet of commercial zone next to Wawa in that area over there. We just authorized that. It was against my wishes. They did say that they are staying within the old boundaries for the wetlands, which I do appreciate. I asked 5 times and they said, oh, yes. And again, I'm just pointing this out as an example. I'm not anti-commercial development. But the thing is that that ordinance to make that happen has been amended 11 times. Okay? If you amend an ordinance 11 times, why not just throw it out and write a new one? I mean, the thing is that you keep amending things and amending things. I have a request now to increase hotel space over in Heritage Harbor. They haven't even built a hotel yet. Okay? We've already got a request for an increase that's coming tomorrow. One of the things that I've seen happen here a lot, and this is one of the reasons I ran, is, I would like to build next to your house. Now I want to build in your house. Now I want to build on your lawn. Now I want you to move out and let me build. The thing is that what I don't like is they're zoning without knowing what's going on there. And they're allowed, there's a list of things that can go on there, but again, there are certain things you don't want next to your house anyway. And as they do this, they keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Now, at the last meeting, we got rid of 2.1.2.8, which is moving the FDAB and allowing them to build farther out east. I saw that as a very good thing that they finally said, we have to adhere to that line. The problem is the cart before the horse again. We've already built past what they're saying. That's a problem with me. I think that that line should have never moved in the first place. We just moved the line in District 1. To move that line, they need the state to do it. Okay? They have a state rep that takes it up there and presents it. And they asked for a letter from Manatee County Commission saying that there's no objection. Okay, I said, is this a requirement? The first time they said no. This is nice to have. The last time they came in, I said, is this a requirement? They said, yes, it's a requirement. I said, well, I object to it. And the vote's on the record. You can look at the record. But yet that letter still says, no objection from the Manatee County Commission. That should have been written properly. It should have said, only one commissioner objected, and he was overruled by the other 6. I objected to that. That letter was signed and sent to the state saying there was no objection.
Zoning for the, it was 50 feet and then it was 25 feet. And I know, but the attitude of the commissioners then, they wanted to go for the 25. They were shamed into going back to 50.
No, they weren't shamed in it. I made it go back.
Well, good for you.
The thing is that a lot of this stuff, you know, we never had an informed electorate. We had somebody in a newspaper write a thing that said, annoyance is probably enough because there's a lot of money going out there and stuff like that. Turned out annoyance was, turned out once the people got involved, it didn't matter the amount of money they had. Didn't matter what they said. Didn't matter who they were associated with. The vote came out and it changed the board. And I just got done saying again, we're going to change the board again in 2 years. It's going to be people first. And anybody that doesn't like it can get off the train.
Yeah, I'll be quick, and thank you for all that you're doing. I'm a student section in this area. I just want to our neighbor, we've had a committee working on this issue relative to that, the development of those apartments outside of this area. And so one, I welcome you to, we've been sending emails out throughout the community, so I'm concerned that we haven't reached you. But we know we aim to make sure that we're giving you the information. It's been volunteers for about half a year or more. And we also appreciate the support of the commission.
Now my request, I need the support. I'm going to need you to come to meetings. I'm going to need you to speak up. I'm going to need you to call in on the phone. You know, if they don't do something we like, hey, we need 500 people in the chamber, 1,500 people on the phone. You each get 3 minutes.
David Arns, born and raised in this area. So this is my home. I've seen everything get developed out here. I used to hunt where Rosario was illegally, but it's a bad neighborhood development there. I feel real bad for a lot of people in the development that's happening. So my question is we talk about how we're going to improve stormwater. There's a dollar value that's associated with that, and how are we going to pay for that? So my question is, when it comes to reserves within Manatee County, there's probably not many people know the exact dollar amount that Manatee County has in reserves. What is your current opinion? And could some of that reserve funding be used for Overland Road, for some of these projects? And how could we as a community tap into that? And what would you consider a safe reserve percentage for Manatee County?
The reserves is not really the question. We have $254 million of disaster relief funds. Okay, that could be used for storm drainage. Okay, we have a whole county that's flooded. I went out this morning and I actually looked at a seafood shack and I actually looked at Annie's. And, you know, as I was going down the road there's still a lot of debris, a lot of things devastated. Cortez was hit very hard. I went out to Holmes Beach. I met with the mayor and the chief of police. I got to look around the island. A lot of things have been hit very hard. They are municipalities, so although we aren't responsible for them, I feel like we need to help them. But we will get our share of that $254 million. And I think a lot of that would be going toward cleaning that river, making sure we have storm drainage that's proper. I haven't met with everybody yet. Again, I have Pat Neal and Carlos coming in next week. I will be meeting with the CDDs. I believe it's Mr. Silverstein that's in charge of that. And we've already been in contact, so that meeting will take place. And what I want is a collective effort from everybody to help me get this done. And, it's going to take the voice of the people to do it, because I'm willing to talk. Anybody who's willing to listen, I'm willing to talk. But the thing is that they got to hear all of us. Because if they hear just me alone, again, you need 4 votes at the commission to get anything done. It's just the reality.
Dr. McCann, thank you very much for having this kind of forum where everybody can talk. And to our neighbors in the area that have dealt with all of the water issues, my heart goes out to you. We're not in that scenario. I'm Jill Lajak, a member of the Azario community. And like some others have said, and want my voice to be heard, very concerned about the development that's being proposed on Lorraine, given the traffic issues, given all the issues I heard here tonight. Obviously, we're a newer member of the great state of Florida, and glad to be with so many people here that are one-time residents. But it's clear that there's a lot of issues that need to be fixed from an infrastructure issue standpoint. And it would be my recommendation that people don't invest in the real estate in this area until some of those things get fixed. And given we're new homeowners, that's top of mind, not only for the development that's being proposed on Lorraine, and the impact that it would have on our development on the tax base. Thank you, and thank you for all you're doing to listen to everyone. Thank you.
Again, this could be a great place to live, work, and play. That's why we're building the park. We are going to be able to expand the park, okay? Because they'll create more green space, they'll create more activities. I just got to give out a proclamation for sports that's been going on in this area for 36 years for people over 50. Yeah, I qualify. The thing is that there's a lot of things here that can be very good. There are, the intentions are all great, but if you read the Observer the last time, in the last 35 years, nobody has talked about the storm drainage, the drainage here. So it's time we have that talk. It's time we have to get it fixed. And that's what I intend to do. And that's what I did with Rex Jetson. That's what I'm going to do with the other 2 developers too that are coming in. There are other developers out there too. But the thing is that a lot of the land is controlled by these 3 people. So that's why I'm talking to them first. I do want to talk to the CDD people, but again, we're going to fix that regardless of what's said. So, if there's anything we can do, get a hold of him. He will get a hold of me right away. Okay, I want to know everything. My door's open. We are trying right now to find a space in here, in this area here, where I can actually have an office that you could just walk in here and not have to go downtown. We're working on that right now. I think that's important. It hasn't been done before, but we need to do it, and they're working on it for me right now. Because it's just not fair to have you drive all the way down to my office. So, and again, in the neighborhood, I'll talk to you. Let's not talk county business.
Just a quickie, do you have the agenda for the 19th? Is it online?
It's not online yet, but it will be 10 days before.
10 days?
Yes.
So we'll get a chance to add stuff to the meeting agenda?
Oh, most definitely. And if you want to add something anyway, he can add it on my behalf.
I'll give my email address.
I just want to say, we have this room reserved till 8 p.m. It's now 7:53. I don't want to give the commissioner time to give closing comments, but again, if you have any questions, please meet me over here. We're going to set up those meetings that the commissioners requested me set up. Please, Commissioner McCann.
Again, we have an open door policy. You can talk to us anytime. You can call us anytime. Some people have my private phone number. Please don't use that because it's discoverable. You know, if I talk county business on that, they actually, you know, I already had a request for some text because somebody sent me text during a meeting saying I didn't get to talk. And it's like, yeah, well, a lot of people didn't during this meeting. So again, I would prefer that you use my county phone number. You know, you can get that from Ed too. You know, if you need to talk to me directly, I'm not trying to pass it off on him. You know, if you need to talk to me directly, you know, you can definitely call me too. I'll be around the neighborhood. I'll be looking at things. You know, I like to get things done. I didn't get elected to, you know, be popular. I'm probably not very popular at the commission right now. But the thing is, I did get elected to get results. And that's what we're going to do.
Well,
Hey,
this
thank you
meeting-
all for your time.
Are these meetings going to be scheduled like monthly, every 6 months? How do you, this is.